Welcome back to Carto Geospatial Solutions. So in today's tutorial, we're going to learn how to georeference a vector dataset using another vector dataset without giving any ground control points to it. Fine, so let's get started with that. Fine, I've just opened my ArcGIS software out here. So in this tutorial, we're going to georeference the Tamil Nadu boundary shapefile. Alright, so I've got two shapefiles out here. Right, so the first shapefile is the one that has been properly georeferenced. So we're going to use the spatial reference of the particular shapefile to georeference the shapefile that has got no spatial reference within it. Right, so both these shapefiles which we are going to use in this case are of the same place. Right, so first let us open the georeferenced one. So as you can see, this is the georeferenced one, that is tn.shp file. So put towards, drag and drop it towards the map canvas. So you can see it is exactly falling in the correct place where it needs to be. Right, so it is obvious from the coordinate pair out here. Right, so it is obvious from the pair out here. So you can also cross check it by going to the properties of this particular shapefile. You can see it is very obvious from the source tab that it is in the GCS format. Right, so it is in the geographic coordinate system format. So this shapefile is already properly georeferenced, right? But in the same manner, if I just open my TN undefined shapefile, you will be getting a prompt saying that it has got no spatial reference within it, right? Because this shapefile was downloaded by me from a website, right? So it has not been properly georeferenced by them, right? So it has got no it has got no spatial reference within itself, right? So we're going to georeference this particular shapefile, right? So, as you can see, it has been added to my map canvas, but it is still not shown in my map canvas because it falling somewhere else, right? So you can see that by going to the zoom to layer of this particular shapefile, you can see that it is falling somewhere else, which is also quite obvious from the coordinate pair out here as well, right? So this one is the shapefile that has got to be georeferenced to match our shapefile that has already been georeferenced. The main purpose of doing this georeferencing process is to transfer some of the attribute information of this ungeoreferenced shapefile to the georeferenced one. Right? So that is the purpose of doing this process after all. And because you can see from the attribute table of this non-georeferenced shapefile that it has got some more additional information about the particular place. Right? So it is quite obvious from this attribute table. You can see that it has got the area, population density, as well as the total population of each and every district of our Tamil Nadu state of India, right? Whereas these kinds of information are lacking in our georeferenced shapefile. So we're going to spatially adjust this one, right, our non-georeferenced shapefile to match our georeferenced shapefile to ultimately transfer the attribute information from this data set towards our georeferenced one, right? So that is the main purpose of doing this exercise after all, right? So you can see from the attribute table of this georeferenced one, you can see that it has got only the district names, right? So it is lacking all the other information in its attribute table, right? So we're going to do that by using a process called the spatial adjustment, right? So we're not going to give any ground control points here, but instead we're going to spatially adjust the unknown shapefile, referenced shapefile, to match our known spatial reference shapefile, right? So for that we're going to use the spatial adjustment toolbar now. Fine. To spatially adjust our non-georeference shapefile out here, we have to open the spatial adjustment toolbar as I already told you. So for that you have to just right click somewhere on this place to open all these options out here. Right, so now we have to select the spatial adjustment toolbar from this entire set of tools. So you can see this option out here, right? So it has been placed out here as a toolbar, right? So now, as you can see here, all the tools of this particular toolbar are disabled as of now, right? So to get them enabled, we have to first start the editing process, right? So since we are going to spatially adjust this TN undefined shapefile, we have to start editing this particular shapefile. Right, so for that, let me just right click on this particular shapefile to go to the edit features option out here. Go to the start editing process. So you'll be able to see all the options now being enabled. So you can just press continue here. Right, so as you can see, all the options have been enabled now. Right, so now we have to create some displacement links to displace this shapefile from this unknown location to the known of our older TN georeferenced shapefile, right? So for that we have to create some displacement links, right? So for that we have to four displacement link points at some obvious locations to match this particular shapefile to our georeferenced shapefile, right? So let me start first. So let me zoom into this particular place, right? So, because I'm going to give 4 displacement points along these 4 corners of my entire study area. So first let me just zoom into this particular place of interest because I want to narrow down it down to an obvious location. So let me take this particular corner out here. So let me just create a new displacement link out here. So it is going to be this place is where I am going to create a displacement link. Now it has been created, right? So now I have to select my second point to the same place in my georeferenced shapefile, right? So for that I have to go to the table of contents to my georeferenced shapefile, and then I have to right click on this, go to the zoom to layer option. So you'll be getting this shapefile now. So you have to zoom into that same place again and select the same location again. So you have to select the same option again to select the exact place where you pinpointed your first point, right? So this has created a new displacement link for us here, right? So in the same manner, at least 4 displacement points to properly displace your older shapefile to the exact location of your georeferenced shapefile. As you can see, I have created the 4 displacement links that were needed to georeference this old ungeoreferenced shapefile, so to say, right? So now it is time for us to adjust this data set spatially. Right, so for that I have to go to this drop down box out here, right? So firstly I have to set some properties. So firstly I have to go to this set adjust data, right? So as you can see, in this case I have to go to the all features in these layers, right? So the ultimate aim for us is to spatially adjust all the features of this undefined layer, isn't it? So for that I have to go to this option, all features in these layers, and then I have to select only this particular one, right? And then I have to unselect this georeferenced shapefile, right? So it is going to be only TN undefined, that is the one that is going to be checked out here, because we are going to spatially adjust only the features of this particular layer, right? Fine. So we can just click on OK now. So you'll be able to see the adjust data option being enabled right now. So whether you can go back to this drop down again, so you can see this adjust option being enabled right now. So you can just click on this adjust option, right? So the fine. So as far as adjustment methods are concerned, so you can just leave it as the default one, that is the affine transformation is fine, right? So it is the default one which you have to use, right? So now we have to go to the adjust method to spatially adjust this data, right? So as you can see that this non-georeferenced shapefile has been moved towards the location of this georeferenced one, right? So that is the reason why it is being shown as an empty matte canvas out here. Right, so should you just right click on this shapefile to zoom it to the whole extent, you'll be able to see this ungeoreferenced layer being superimposed on it, right? So it is implicating that it has been properly georeferenced out here, right? So as you can see, if I change the color of this shapefile to say something like yellow, you'll be able to see that it is exactly falling over the same area again. It has been properly georeferenced here. So the shapefile has been properly spatially adjusted now. It is time for us to transfer the attribute data of our older TN shapefile, right? So first of all, let me go to this attribute table of this undefined shapefile here, right? So as you can see, these are 2 things which you have to add to our TN shapefile, right? So it is missing in this particular shapefile, right? So the first thing is that we have to add 3 fields of the same type, right? Because it has to transfer these data into this TN shapefile, right? So for that we have to create 3 new TN in our TN data shapefile of the same field type, right? To add these 3 fields data into our TN shapefile. Clear? Right? So for that we have to create 3 new fields of any name, right? So the name is not important here, but the field type is very much important here, right? So as you can see, I have created these 3 fields in the a double type for area, right? So it is the integer types for the population density as well as the total population, right? So, so for that I have to create the three new fields of the same types in our TN shapefile as well, right? So let me create that now. So first let me create the area field for this TN shapefile. So that I have to go to this drop down box here. So since it is in the since I have not still closed my editing mode here, I have to first close it because my option is not enabled out here, right? So it has to be saved first, isn't it? So first I have to save the edits which I have made out here, and then I have to stop my editing session, right? So now I have to go back to this drop down to add my field. So it is going to be area field now, right? So as I already told you, the names are not important. It can be of any type or any wording, right? So in this case I have to go to the type as float. So it is my float, right? So so the area field has been created. Now I have to create the population density field. That field again, let me name it as PD. So it is going to be saved as short integer, so it is fine. So nextly I have to create a field for the total population. So it is going to be, say, something like pop is fine. So pop is going to be having some more values, so I have to go with the long integer field type here, right? So as you can see, I have created three new fields of the same field types of my undefined shapefile as well, right? To incorporate all these values into my older georeference shapefile. Fine. So having created that, we can start transferring the attribute data from these two, from one shapefile to the other shapefile. So for that, you have to go back to the editing mode again. So you have to start editing again. Enable the icons. You have to enable the icons of our spatial adjustment toolbar. So let me just continue with this. So as you can see, it has been enabled. Right. So now we have to firstly go to this drop down to set our attribute transfer mapping settings. So firstly, you have to go to this option. Right, so as you can see, we have to first set the source as well as the target layer, right? So in this case, our undefined layer is going to be our source layer, right? Because that is the one that is going to contain the data which we need to transfer to our older georeference shapefile called TN shapefile, right? So it is going to be our source layer, right? But now we have to change our target layer to our TN shapefile, right? So as you can see, it has been properly added now, right? So now we have to auto match firstly the common field names, right? So as you can see, both these two shapefiles are having the common field as a district field as well as the area field, right? So we have to firstly click on this auto match to automatically allow the software to pick and match the automatically matching fields, right? So as you can see, it has already picked up these three fields, so to say, right? So now we have to only match the last two fields, right? So as I already told you, the field names are not important, right? So we can just select this field from our source layer as well as this field from our target layer to add it, right? So that it is going to transfer all the data of this particular field to this PD field of our TN layer, right? So we can add this, right? So it has been added now. There's no need, as now there is no need for us to transfer geometric properties, right? It is going to transfer only the field information from this TN undefined layer to this TN layer. So you can just uncheck this option out here for now, so it is not required. Fine. So let me click on OK now. So it has been created now, right? So now it is time for us to transfer it manually, right? So for that, you have to click on this attribute transfer tool to manually transfer the data from each feature of our TN undefined shapefile to our TN shapefile, right? So for that, you have to just select this option. So firstly, you have to click on our source layer feature, right? That is the layer that is going to contain the information that is need to be transferred, right? So we have to select a feature of the source layer first, right? So as you can see, the first layer that has been put on top here is the undefined layer. So I have to click on a particular feature on this undefined layer firstly. So we should be able to get this green blinking light, right? So firstly, you have to select this feature on the source layer, right? And then you have to uncheck your show your target layer. So now you have to select the same place in your target layer. So by doing so, it is going to transfer the attribute data of this particular feature to your TN shapefile, right? So you can just cross check it by going to the identity tool to check for the data. So you can see that it has been transferred here, right? So you can see that these empty fields which were empty populated with the field values of your TN undefined shapefile. So in the same manner, you can do it for all the other features as well. Suppose if you're finding it difficult to manually transfer the attribute data one feature of your entire layer, right? Then I suggest you to go with this tool called the Spatial Join tool. Since both of our layers are superimposed to one another, since both of them are having the same spatial reference, right? I can use this Spatial Join tool to transfer all the attribute data of one shapefile towards another shapefile, and then you can store it as a newer shapefile itself, right? So if you're finding it difficult to do this one by one, then you can go with the tool called Spatial. Suppose we want me to demonstrate this particular tool, then please drop a comment in our comment section. I shall be grateful to do that as well, right? So please let me know, guys. Right, so that's it, guys. So I think this video was of some use to you, right? So it is one of the simpler ways of doing this vector to vector georeferencing, right, by using the displacement links, right? So thank you so much for watching. So please do share, like, and subscribe our channel, right, for some more interesting contents like these, right? So thank you so much.